I've lived in Oakland 40 years, and I made it my home because there's diversity here. You can do anything you want to do. You're close to the mountains, and you got the ocean. Plus, you got a lot of people. The people in Oakland are very opinionated and very active. If you want to start a movement against something, you can always find a group in Oakland. Now, if you want to find people that want to do something positive, you'll find a group. And like any city, we have our challenges.
Crimes including sexual battery, assault with a deadly weapon.
But from all indications, he let people hide their drugs in there, deal their drugs in there, and let that place be the center. You know, it's kind of a little supermarket up there for drug dealing.
Well, the condition is very bad. Some residents claim they haven't had heat for 5 years.
We all know what's happening here. We can say it out loud. Drug traffic.
But a few years ago, the city attorney started changing some attitudes with his work at City Hall. For the first time, the people of Oakland had a city attorney working for them. We now have an office that works to protect people from hate crimes. They are doing their part to help parents keep kids safe through Megan's Law. And John Russo makes sure we have access to the decision-making at City Hall through this open government program. These programs have all won awards, but my favorite, and the one that's had the greatest impact in my neighborhood, is the Neighborhood Law Corps.
ABC 7 News at 6.
If you think that there is nothing new out there, no new ideas aimed at community law enforcement or justice, consider this next story. The Neighborhood Law Corps in Oakland, teams of lawyers and others attacking problems from the grassroots level. ABC 7's Willie Monroe is in the East Bay community getting a sample of how this would work.
10, 15 times a night, boom, 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 boom. My windows will shake. You can hear
Denise Alvarado expressed the frustration with her neighborhood, traffic, loud music, drug dealing, and blight.
But look at the back of that house. That says it right there.
They're the kinds of problems the city's new Neighborhood Law Corps will address. The 5 new Law Corps lawyers, some fresh out of law school, joined other city employees looking for violations of the city's quality of life laws.
The idea was that we would hire attorneys right out of law school who were passionately committed to public service.
Well, prior to law school, I was in investment banking. I did stock research, and I thought, I can do something better with my life.
I mean, if you're going to work hard and you're going to work long hours, then it really should be for something that you care about.
We get to go out into all the various neighborhoods, and we confront the issues that people deal with 24/7. When we go there, the first thing that happens, the neighbors tend to yell at us for everything that they associate is wrong with City Hall. And it's a really good exchange. It really is like the epitome of bad breath democracy. I mean, people get right there in your face. We really listen to what people are saying, and we always come back.
The crackdown continues in Oakland. City officials go after more liquor stores deemed neighborhood nuisances. The new Get Tough policy may already be working in some ways. As ABC 7's Willie Monroe reports, neighbors say they're seeing a difference as stores either clean up or just move out.
Then the bullet hole.
Lakeisha Williams showed what it was like to live across the street from the liquor store known as the Oakland Food Center. Bullet holes in her house confirm her decision not to sit in her front room or let her children play outside.
I don't want him getting shot. I don't want my other child getting shot, from sitting in the living room or going outside to play.
An Oakland city attorney came out today at a town hall meeting and basically said enough is enough, that the city will shut down liquor stores that do not help clean up the crime taking place outside their doors.
So we're getting much better cooperation. I don't think it's an accident that yesterday we announced 1 closed store, but we announced 2 stores that had voluntarily come to agreement with us on the ways in which they could help us to help them eliminate antisocial behavior in front of their store.
With the right to sell comes the responsibility to be a good neighbor. We'd like you to do it voluntarily. If you won't do it voluntarily, we will compel you to do it. And if we can't compel you to do it, then we will shut you down.
Change is coming with actions like closing down this nuisance liquor store. The city attorney's office and its Neighborhood Law Corps tried to get the owner to make changes.
They were just completely intransigent about trying to work with us. They took a position of you and whose army, and you see behind you, we brought the army.
We got there and we did the press conference, and I had a great script. out and we did our taglines. You know, we will either turn you around or we will shut you down, which has become our kind of our slogan, if you will. I started speaking with a couple of the women from the neighborhood who had come out to be at the press conference, and there was this one very pleasant woman who came up and said, "I really admire what you've been doing, and you've restored my faith in government." And I said, "Well, that's very nice. It's very kind of you to say." And there's a group of children coming from a neighborhood center, walking back to their school, and I hear her voice say, "Oh, look, the children can walk here now," and it was very moving. It hit me really hard, the real human dimensions of what we do, and it was a mixture of pride and happiness, and also a deep sense that none of us is doing enough.
The Neighborhood Law Corps is more than just liquor stores. There are a variety of landlords who have enormous numbers of properties, many of which are mismanaged, if they're managed at all. I mean, they're totally run down, and there are a number of tenants, residents of Oakland, that are suffering.
She pays almost $500 a month for this apartment in Oakland's Fruitvale district. She says there are roaches, mold, and a toilet that doesn't work.
So I have to take the bucket and put it on my shower stool and try to slide the shower stool to the toilet so I can flush it.
If you're just a regular person in Oakland that's trying to get some help and you're a senior, the only place you can go and get some quick help is the Neighborhood Law Corps.
They pay their rent. They're entitled under the law to have a habitable place to live for them and for their children.
The Neighborhood Law Corps Foundation, the city firm made up of volunteer lawyers, has gone after absentee landlords to clean up dilapidated properties. Socorro Torres says she worries about her children's health, showing us walls plastered with mold and holes in the walls that let in rats and roaches.
We went to visit some of these apartments. You're seeing broken stoves, toilets that don't work, mold, not only visibly so thick, but hanging in the air that it's difficult to breathe. Broken windows, refrigerators that are just leaking who knows what in the back. And you see a whole family living here and doing their best to get by.
I just had this moment of clarity in the court that they are never going to sign a compliance plan unless we go to trial. It flipped the other side out. She said, "We can't do trial, we have to wait until February or March." And I say, "Your Honor, the farm tenants cannot go another winter without hot water and without gas. And if we have to wait another winter, the city of Oakland cannot have that on their conscience."
Well, I can tell you Oakland is going after landlords who ignore tenant complaints and refuse to make repairs. And today they scored a big victory for those tenants.
She said, "Well, what will it take to settle?" And I gave her my terms, and I said, "But those terms expire at 5 o'clock." And she called me at 4, and we settled the case.
Many of the people in these units can't speak English. Many of them are immigrants. They don't know what their rights are. And this is a perfect example of the kind of thing that Neighborhood Law Corps can achieve.
These are the people who you can really help in a tangible way. And for me, that was so much more fulfilling. I really realized that this was going to be a dream job.
We've become sort of like that grease between the gears of City Hall and the community. And before it was like, near rusted.
The idea of the Law Corps was that we were going to let the community decide what the biggest problems were that needed to be solved. But instead of forcing them as private individuals to go to court and hire a lawyer, where they would only be one private individual against another, what we did was we allowed them to bootstrap onto the dramatic power that a municipality has over health, safety, and welfare issues. And so you really created a true democratic small d process by sending City Hall, city attorneys into the community to take direction and work at the behest of the community itself. That dramatically empowers the community in a direct and tangible way. It helps us to make better cases, and it really does work to make better communities.
As far as I'm concerned, I wish we could make this happen all across the country. This is a very, very wise and very, very smart thing to be doing.